Long before I knew that I wanted to be a teacher, teaching was always a major part of my life. Let me start from the beginning. As the youngest of 9 kids, I grew up in a hectic household. Not only were my parents my first teachers, but in many ways, so were my siblings. My oldest sibling set an example for me growing up, what I should be doing and, in some cases, what I should not do. The ones closest in age to me were my fellow explorers. Never would a day go by that we weren't wreaking havoc outdoors and coming up with creative games of pretend. Although most of my siblings have moved out of the house by now, I still keep in touch with them. We love to reminisce about our days of getting into trouble and learning about the world by trial and error. Then there is my sister Lauren, number 6 in the bunch, who has taught me more in life than anyone else. Lauren was born with a number of developmental disabilities and, as a result, is nonverbal and almost entirely reliant on others for care. Despite not being able to talk, she has touched more people than most. Lauren has made me into the compassionate person that I am, and has given me an important understanding of the vast community of neurodiverse individuals. Of course, my parents also played a major role in my education. My mom and dad are my biggest fans. They have shaped me into the person that I am today, and have instilled in me values that are immensely more important than any academic or technical successes. One of the biggest traits that I can attribute to my parents is my curiosity and love of learning about the world around me. My dad, a biochemist, was always thrilled to teach me about how nature works. Instead of traditional bedtime stories, I would ask him to tell me about whatever subject interested me that night, whether it was germs, blood, or outer space. Both my mom and dad taught me to see the art and beauty in the world around me. They are both very crafty people, my mom with her calligraphy and cross-stitching, and my dad with his stained glass and detailed carvings. They supported me in all of my scientific and artistic endeavors, and were not surprised when I ultimately ended up pursuing a career in art. Although I am the youngest out of all of my siblings, I am not the youngest in the family. Having nieces and nephews who are a variety of ages has given me my first lessons in what it means to be a teacher and a mentor. In the same way that I look up to my older family members, my nieces and nephews look up to me. Just like when I was younger, we go on outdoor explorations, make elaborate indoor forts, and use our imaginations to play games of pretend. Spending time with my nieces and nephews has taught me to incorporate learning into fun. Outside, we look at the wildflowers, rabbits, and butterflies, and learn about the world of nature. Building forts is hands-on and encourages problem solving, and the games of pretend allow them to unleash their creativity. Of course, I always find the opportunity to share my love of art with them. From pumpkin painting to making cards to dyeing Easter eggs, there is never a shortage of craft time when I am with them. In addition to playing with my nieces and nephews, I also spent a lot of time with the younger kids in my neighborhood. My next-door neighbor is 6 years younger than I am, and is practically the little sister I never had. We would accompany each other's families on trips to the beach, spend countless hours in her pool or on my trampoline, and take walks down to the neighborhood park. She was one of the people who sent me off to college in tears. To this day, I mentor her as she begins her teenage life. Along the way growing up, I had many teachers in a variety of subjects who inspired me and fueled my love of learning. There was Mrs. Moeller, who made math seem interesting. Miss Walsh turned me into a reader, and Mrs. Kellett reinforced all of the scientific knowledge I picked up from home. Mr. Swindell, my middle school art teacher, perhaps had the biggest impact of all. If it weren't for him, I would not have developed as much as I have as an artist, and I certainly would not be pursuing the career that I am. High school provided for me many trials. Because it was a vocational school for health and science, my artistic life nearly went stagnant. I grew in a multitude of other ways, though. I loved helping on the variety of service trips that we went on. I went to retirement homes, had rotations in the hospital, and did an internship with an acupuncturist, and even visited my sister Lauren's school for students with special needs. This last opportunity especially got me thinking about a career in education. By my senior year of high school, I was very lost and lacking direction. It was at this time that I took the opportunity of a lifetime. I went with my sister-in-law and a group of other healthcare professionals to Honduras for a medical mission. Over the course of my time there, we set up clinics every day to treat anyone who needed care. Because the nearest hospital was many miles away over mountainous dirt roads, we provided some of the only medical care these people ever received. Because I was not a trained professional, my jobs were limited to things like weighing patients, taking blood pressures, and directing the hundreds of people who came to the clinic each day. I was also in charge of entertaining the children, a task that I took to heart. Although there was a language barrier, it never got in the way of the time I spent with the kids. We did arts and crafts, threw beanbags, and, of course, played lots of football. At some points, it was deeply saddening to see the children, many of whom were profoundly impacted by poverty. Experiencing people who grew up in a completely different situation from my own was an extremely important part of my journey towards becoming a teacher. After my mission trip, although I was still unsure exactly what I wanted to pursue in college, I knew for sure that I wanted to help others in one way or another. After applying and being accepted into Ramapo as an undeclared major, I started a brand new chapter of my life. Shortly into my time at Ramapo, I decided to join the education program, and very quickly realized that art was my calling. Since then, I have been continuing to further my education. I have been making up for lost time and developing myself as an artist, always eager to learn about new things in all subjects. I feel so lucky for all of the people in my life who have inspired me and impacted me so far. And of course, I still visit home from time to time to see my nieces, nephews, and neighbor, who are all growing up too fast. I am thrilled whenever I think about myself starting my career, especially because I know that this is my passion.